Drinking pickle juice cured my acne. Actually, it didn't, but I have a point. On social media, you'll hear people talking about a lot of natural or kind of out there remedies for acne or any other condition, really. Those people's accounts fall into something that we call anecdotal information. Now, let me walk you through some of the issues with anecdotal information, either on social media or elsewhere. Firstly, let's get the big one out of the way. On social media, people lie about stuff all the time. The more outlandish something is, the more views they're going to get. So, yeah, people lie. First big issue with anecdotal information is that it is one person's experience. In science, in scientific research, in medicine, we want results to be reproducible before we can generalize them to everyone. Why? Everyone's different. So when you do an actual clinical trial, you will look at something called power. The easy way to grasp this concept is that if there are more participants in a study, it will have more power, and greater power could help you reach a more significant result. Second, when you're doing something on your own, there's usually no set protocol to really look at what you're trying to see. So this person started drinking pickle juice to cure their acne. Were they doing anything else at the same time? Trying new acne medication, being more consistent with their skincare? We don't know. In addition to that, this person is more likely to have something called confirmation bias. In this case, you're essentially your own investigator when you're doing the pickle juice experiment. Confirmation bias is basically predicting a certain outcome. So in this case, drinking pickle juice will cure my acne. And in turn, that kind of gives you this bias to want to see that result that you predict. This is why clinical trials are usually what they call double-blind. In a double-blind study, you have participants who are getting the intervention in question and then matched controls. So controls are people who are not getting the study treatment. And both the participants and the investigator don't know who's who. They don't know who's getting the study intervention. On the investigator side, this will help prevent confirmation bias because as people's conditions are changing throughout the study, you don't know who's who. You don't know who's getting the treatment in question, and you don't know if the theory that you have about the outcome is being confirmed or not. It's also helpful on the participant side. Usually those controls that I talked about, the participants who aren't getting the study treatment have some sort of placebo that they're given. A placebo is basically like a dummy intervention. So if we were doing the pickle juice study, you might give the control group water to drink, and they wouldn't know if that water was the study drug, the pickle juice, or the placebo. You may have heard about the placebo effect, like it is a real thing. And depending on the situation, it could be psychological. It could also be that people behave differently when they think that they're having a particular treatment. So having those controls, getting the placebo, helps you figure out like how much of the effect that you're going to see throughout the study is actually due to the treatment and how much of it is due to just the circumstances around the treatment. Another thing to account for is that a lot of disease processes fluctuate on their own. So this person doing the anecdotal, I drank pickle juice and my acne cleared, their acne may just be kind of improving on its own. Having a control group helps you account for that, because the condition of the controls can fluctuate like it normally would without any treatment. Now, you may say that fluctuation may be different from person to person, and that's why a lot of trials are randomized. What randomization is any kind of procedure that allocates participants to either the study treatment group, the pickle juice group, or the control group. The reason you do this is because you don't want any bias in the selection of who goes to which group. The last thing I'd like to talk about is generalizability of results. In general, when we look at results of different studies, we want to look at the demographics of the participants. because it helps inform you of how useful those results are going to be in each case. So, for instance, if you have a really well powered study with a lot of participants, but all of them are in a certain age group, let's say they're like 18 to 35, those results may not be as applicable to people who are, say, in their 50s and 60s. So, some of the most generalizable studies actually include people from lots of different demographics, whether they be age, gender, race, and you're not going to get that multitude from just one person's anecdote. What do you think about all this? Do you want to know more about clinical trials? Did you drink the pickle juice? Let me know in the comments.